Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Let me see what's up with this thing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? How's everybody doing this afternoon? This is your boy Doc Holiday. Give a round of applause. Appreciate everybody for coming in today. This is the midday part of HBCU tonight. If you haven't done it by now, make sure that you like the stream. Make sure that you comment, share. Most of all, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. Got some people filing in to right in a little bit. I know mostly everybody that went back to work since yesterday was President's Day. And of course, the president I'm going to champion is Barack Obama, of course. And it's basically Black History Month. So, got a lot of stuff going on today. Got a lot of things going on before I head out to work. So, I just want to put everybody on notice. How you doing, Miss Amber? How you doing? But everybody, tell me where you from and what school you repping. Tell me where you from, what school you repping. Oh, excuse me. But what up, Chris? Yo. But we got a good one for today. We got a good lineup for today. We got the HBCU combine results. I got those in this morning. How you doing, Miss Tyra? We talking about weekend basketball. The SWAC and the MEAC had a wild time this weekend in both men's and women's. Also on the docket, please keep our name out your mouth. Why? And I'm gonna put it just like this. Why don't reference this man to our institution? So just leave it be. And then last but not least, we got baseball 101. Why? Because some people good friends of mine asked me about terminology on baseball. So I'm going to give a little small crash tutorial about baseball. But before we get into all that, y'all, go ahead and give y'all commercial from the sponsor. Like I said, Black College Football Fan Club by shopmerchsports.com. So be right back, y'all.
Yo, it's your boy Doc Holiday with HBCU Overdrive, and I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically designed to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiasts.
All right, and we are back. We are back. So, and as always, get this little small commercial going on, but this will tell you about how to join the channel and what we do as far as with the channel and everything. So, I'll be right back with this. The messages from yours truly at HBCU Overdrive.
It's your boy Doc Holiday. Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also you can get birthday shout outs on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket.
We are back. We had a couple of birthdays this past weekend. We had a couple of birthdays. Like I said, my daughter's birthday was on Saturday, so she turned the big 9. Had a couple of people's birthday was yesterday. In fact, also my niece. This is my second niece. My second niece, her birthday was yesterday. So Trinity, happy birthday to you from your good old uncle. Your good old Uncle D. But let's get into it. So we're gonna jump right into it. We got the HBCU combine results. So I put down here in the question who impressed the most and who needs to improve. So I got pretty much majority of the measurables. If you watched it yesterday, it was on NFL Network. Quarterbacks. That is the main thing. Quarterbacks. Davius Richard, Jeremy Musa, Quentin Williams, Donovan Riddick from West Virginia State. They were there. They actually went out there to put their numbers up, do a little bit of throwing. Now, out of everybody who has the actual measurables, to me, it's going to be Davius Richard. It's going to be Davius Richard because we talk about a kid that's 6'2", and 1/3, 220. Like he's a legit 225 pounds. I think he did put on an extra 10 pounds during the off season. Wingspan at 75.68. So he pretty much has a wingspan over 6 feet, a little bit over 6'5". If you go from fingertip to fingertip. But the biggest thing about Davis yesterday, what we saw was his 40. Unofficially, he did run a 4.5 in the 40, but officially, when the coaches reconvened with their timers, they did say that he ran a 4.6, which is good for him. You carrying 225 pounds. He's not a blazer. He's basically with that offense inside, run inside QB power, inside gap. He has the ability to bounce outside. And he can also make the throws. And when I saw what I saw yesterday, his throwing mechanics looked like they did improve yesterday. For Jeremy Musa, we talking about Jeremy Musa is 6'2" and I would say 6'2" and a half. He's at 225. He has 220 pounds. Hand size is a must when it comes to quarterbacks. His hand size is 10.38. So that means that this dude has some big hands. He has big hands. But sometimes when you have big hands, that means that you can be inaccurate with your passes. His wingspan was 75.38, almost the same as Davius. But he did not run anything else. He didn't do anything else. He did run his 40. He did run a 10-yard split. He didn't do a vertical. He didn't do the broad jump. But he did do the shuttle, which he was at 4.64. And he did not do the 3-cone drill. Davius ran a 10-yard split, 1.6. His vertical is 34. His vertical is 34 inches. So basically, he is athletic. Broad jump, he did broad jump 9 feet 10 inches. So he is an athletic kid. Hopefully, what they're going to do is keep the athleticism. Whoever team that he goes to, keep the athleticism on him. Don't change him into anything else. Let him be a QB. Let Davius be a QB. That's what you want to have. That's what you want to do. You want him to be a QB. You want to be looked as a QB. We do not want to be put in a box saying that, well, he's a dual threat, but he does more running than he does passing. But that doesn't say too much anything about that, because my man go out there, he be dropping dimes, dropping bombs, whatever he does to make sure that his team wins. That's what he does. Make sure. But you get the things that I'm talking about as far as when it comes to quarterback. Quentin Williams, he is a legit 6'4". They had him listed at 6'5" at Howard, but he is 6'4" on the dot, and that is without shoes on, y'all. He's coming in at 199 pounds. We talking about if you put on like another 10 to 12 pounds, get him at like a 210, 215 range. He can be he's able to be a more of your prototypical quarterback. His hand size is 9.48, which is a little bit small on the quarterback side, and then his wingspan though is 79.48. So this man, wingspan is pretty much almost 7 feet tall. Just put it in layman's terms, he's almost 7 feet tall. He ran his 40 yesterday at a 4.84. He did a 10-yard split at a 1.67. Vertical is 30 inches. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. I am 6'4". Now, I was his size about 25. I'm 44, about 25 years ago. And I think my vertical had to be about at least a 35, 36. I can get up there. And don't ask me why I ain't play basketball, but I can get up there. Broad jump. He had broad jump of 9 feet 1 inches. He did the shuttle 4.58, and he did not do the 3-call drill. So, but what I did see from Quentin though yesterday is that he needs to work on his accuracy. This is the same things I've been saying that I have been saying since I started watching him not last year, but the year before when he was at Howard. He needs to work on his passing accuracy. He needs to work on his intermediate throws. He needs to work on his short game. We know in HBCU football right now, we know but Quentin has the ability to air it out. We know that he loves the deep ball. That's what he does. That's his forte. But he needs to work on the intermediate and the short passing game. What about Antonio? On running backs, Jarvion Howard, they had him listed at 5'9" and 7'8", so he's really 5'10", which is his actual height. He's coming in at 215 pounds. Hand size 9.18, which you got some big hands for a running back. That is a good thing right there. Wingspan 73.28. But y'all gotta understand, we talking about Jarvion Howard. He is a stocky dude. He is built low to the ground. He is like a bulldozer. That is what you want from him. And he's able to run inside, outside, misdirection. You could do draw plays, you could do power plays, you could do whatever kind of play that you want to hand off what you want to do. This is the running back that you need right here. He is pretty much a 3-down running back. He is pretty much a 3-down running back. The question about it, what happened last season was his slow start. He was injured a little bit last season, but people are going to look at it from what he did in 22 when he took the SWAC by storm and ran for over 1,300 yards in that season. Coming in at a 4.52. So he got, we talking about a running back that's 215, 5'10", 215. He's not a blazer. He is a bulldozer. Vertical is 36.5 inches off the ground. Athletic, broad jump 10 feet 8 inches. Look, my man is athletic, and he ran a shuttle as 4.46. We got Ladarius Owens, who comes in. They had him listed at 5'9" at Texas Southern. He was the leading rusher last season with over 1,300 yards. He did lead Texas Southern as the all-time leading rusher in school history and all-time all-purpose yardage in school history. He owns that record. I don't know if anybody would own that record, but he owns that record right there. Coming in at 5'8" and 4. I gotta talk to my boy G how the numbers are when you do stuff like this. Coming in 185 pounds. Runs a 4.56. 26.5 from his vertical. 9 feet is his broad jump. 4.65 from his shuttle. So, I mean, we talking about a guy that's an every down back. Also, we talk about him coming out with screens, slip screens, running the Texas route. You can put him at a slot, move him out to the slot. He just has that dynamic about him with Ladarius. And he looked so fluid out there yesterday, y'all. I didn't know who it was at first until they said something about it, and he looked so fluid out there, and he did a good job as far as with the combine. Ian Wheeler, who from Howard. He's from Houston, Texas. Coming in at 5'10", 203. Ran a 4.57. We talking about a kid who primarily was the third best running back, but the best all around running back at Howard, because he was able to transition himself into special teams as a kick returner and punt returner. So that's something that you look at. That Darren Butts from Hampton. Now, we talked about this. We talked about this in our group chat the other day with HBCU Nightly. Schools, stop doing your kids a disservice when it comes to their actual height and weight. Please stop doing these kids a disservice, because what's going to happen is when they go into these combines, they go into these scouts, they're going to be measured correctly. Darian Butts was listed at 5 foot, I think like 5'8", 5'9". He's 5'6", 160 pounds. He ran a 4.73. That's his official time. But I don't, sometimes you look at the measurables. I don't see too much of the measurables. I'm just looking at it like, hey, this is something, what he did at Hampton, flat out. He was a dog at Hampton. Does that translate that into the modern game that we have now? The measure will say no, but it doesn't matter what the measure will say. If he's out there on the field, he's out there on the field. So with him, he needs to improve on his 40 time. He needs to improve on his explosiveness. And the last running back that was there yesterday is Latrell Collier, aka Mookie Collier, listed at 5'8.5", 197 pounds, ran a 4.77. He kind of, hopefully by the time Pro Day comes around, as Central, he'll be able to get that 40 time down. But we talking about a kid, because his measurables, what his actual measurables say from the combine, does not translate to what he had done on the field. And he has been a workhorse on the field. He had 50 offense for Central to the T, and it basically him and Davies was like Batman and Robin, peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other. So whenever their pro day come around, hopefully his numbers would go, his speed would go down to I would say like a 4.5. You get him in that 4.5 range, he's good. And hopefully he is, most of these dudes right here, if they get on the team, hopefully they are very adamant about playing special teams. Get your foot in the door playing special teams. Garner, whatever you want, whatever you got to do to get yourself on that field. You know what I'm saying? Start off with special teams. Wide receivers, Tavon Cook from North Carolina A&T, pretty much the fastest wide receiver on the board, coming in at 5'10", 184. Ran a 4.48. That his official time. His unofficial time, what I saw yesterday, was a 4.39. I'm trying to figure out where this 0.9 came from, because ain't no way in the world my man ran a 4.48 afterwards. He ran before then. He ran a 4.39. Crazy. But we're talking about a kid. You put him in as a kick returner and a punt returner, and put him in situational offense as far as being a slot receiver, he could be dynamic. He could do wonders. And then we talk about a kid that actually came from a team that was 1-10 last season, but they didn't have a passing game last season until late in the season. But we're talking about a kid pretty much is more special teams than actually on offense. Marcus Riley, 5'10", 167 from Florida A&M. He ran a 4.5. I thought his time was going to be a little bit faster. And this is, like I said, I'm looking at eye test. This is what I saw when I was at Sweat Championship game. I saw a dude that could get off the top of the defense, and he was a blur. I don't believe in this 4.5. This 4.5 that he ran, I believe he's more of a low 4.3, high 4.4. That's what I said. Then when basically what's going on, Ghana? When their pro days come up, maybe get those numbers, adjusted, get them correct. Just doing right techniques and stuff like that. Oh, we're talking about Marcus Riley. We got Terrell Gardner. Terrell Gardner coming in from Alabama A&M, 5'8", 162 pounds. Ran a 4.72 yesterday, but like I said, what he did on the field does not matter with his measurables. Hopefully his 40 time could come down at his pro day. And then August Petrie, 6'1", 174 pounds. He ran a 4.56. And with Petrie, I think he can run a high 4.5 or maybe a low 4.4 at his pro day coming up next month or so. So these are all the receivers that was that's there that participated in the combine. Then we get to the tight ends. The best tight end that we saw last season was Kamari Young from Florida A&M. 6'1", pretty much 6'2", 238. Ran a 4.81. His time might go down, but he looked faster on field and he looks faster in person than what you saw yesterday. DJ Stevens from Jackson State, 6'2", 231, ran a 4.89 in his 40. Hopefully he'll get that down. I talked to him. We talked to him last month, and basically he could get all that stuff down as far as his 40 time. I seen him run the gauntlet, the wide receiver gauntlet. Looked a little bit nervous for a second, but once he started running routes, the tight end routes with the QBs, he was in his element. And then, of course, him being a vicious blocker on the offense. And we talk about a dude that didn't start playing football until his 9th to 10th grade year. So we talking about a kid that played baseball. Baseball is his first sport. Remember that. Is his first sport. But he translates that onto the football field, and you know what I'm saying? That's a good thing right there. And now I'm talking about who impressed and who needs to improve. So it's not saying that I'm being biased or anything like that, but I'm just going straight off what I see with these numbers right here. Tristan Ballard from Pine Bluff, 6'4", 240. He ran a 4.93. He's more of an actual blocking tight end because I didn't really see too much what they did last season with him in the passing game. And then with Brandon Brown, 6'4", 246, and he ran a 5.02. He is more of your blocker. And when they did call him in the passing game, he was reliable. He was dependable in the passing game, but he is more of a blocking tight end for you. But all of these guys right here can make it on a team if they commit themselves to wanting to be on special teams. That's how you get your foot in the door. That's how you get your bread and butter. Boom. Offensive line. We ain't gonna talk too much about offensive line, but I would say with all the offensive linemen that's there, that did participate, most of these offensive linemen are below 300. The biggest guy on this line that participated yesterday was Ryan Atkins from Pine Bluff. His measure was 6'3", 297. I'm not getting into the 40, but with an offensive lineman, 40 really it really doesn't don't mess with me. He has long arms, 79.78, so almost 80-inch wingspan. Cam Colvin, 6'3", 284. Samuel Pearson from Delaware State, 6'3", almost 6'4", 283. And then Adrian Hempfield from Texas Southern, 6'3", 293. So we, more than likely get into a program, get into an actual team that is going to build you up. And most of these guys right here are projects. They are projects. Same thing. Get on the field. Special teams. Special team is going to be the name of the game. Special team is going to be the word of the day. Defensive lineman. We got that participated was Patrick Godbolt from South Carolina State, Zarian Hayes from Alabama A&M, and Darian Brokenberg from Howard. But I also did see Luba Danellis from Benedict, who participated. His measurables came out to be 6 foot. He's not 6 foot, but he's like 5'11", 284 pounds. I think he ran like a 4.748 in that 40. I don't know. They don't have all of the his stuff on here, but I'm just going off of what I see right here. But Patrick Godbolt from South Carolina State, if y'all saw him, he was a menace on that on the defensive line, number 43, coming off the edge, 6'1", 233. So he is more of him, and Zarian Hayes are more of your they built like linebackers. They built like linebackers, but they play on the defensive line. So they kind of got like a James Houston mold. They got a James Houston mold, but Godbolt has a James Houston motor. Zarian Hayes has that too. So we talk about Zarian Hayes, around 6'1", 6'1", 242, ran a 4.65, and then Brokenberg, 6'2", 264. So this is pretty much a true defensive lineman. Defensive end, ran a 4.84. So something like that. Get the number down. And then on the linebackers, James Green, who is, so his two linebackers are sub 200, below 200 pounds. Is James Green from Tennessee State and Travion Green from Prairie View. Both guys standing at 5'11". Green with his weight with 204. Both Green, but James Green from Tennessee State, his weight is at 204. Travion Green is at 198, but Travion had the fastest time out of all the linebackers, running a 4.43. But everybody wanted to see yesterday in that linebacker position. Everybody wanted to see yesterday Bubba Adams. His measurables came out at 5'11", 224, but he ran a 4.86. But we talk about a prototypical middle linebacker. What the measurables say does not speak for what he did on that field for Bama State for the last 3 years. We talking about a guy that pretty much led the conference in tackles the last 2 seasons. We talk about a guy that was pretty much second in Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 years. But his play speaks for itself. So that's why I'm like, when it comes down to these pro days at their respective institutions, those numbers should be able to come down and to improve. So hopefully that's not going to deter him from doing anything else. But he looked healthy. He looked like he toned up. So he looks to basically be in a realm of, I'm ready, if I got to go out there and play special team, that's the key word right there, special teams, I'm going to do it. But that's who everybody wanted to see yesterday as far as on defense, linebackers with Bubba Adams. Cornerbacks. Eric Smith basically had the fastest time yesterday at 4.34, coming in at 5'8", 167. We talking about a kid that is athletic out the door. Broad jump at 10.6, vertical at 36 inches for 5'8". He's more of a nickel inside corner. Excuse me. And that's what you're gonna see on. That's what you're gonna see. Excuse me. That is what you're gonna see when he gets into the NFL. He's gonna be inside corner. Special team is going to be the name of the game. Jaheim Hazel, he ran the second fastest for the cornerbacks. Jaheim Hazel from Jackson State coming in at 5'10" and a half, 188 pounds, and he ran a 4.47. Everything about what I heard about Jaheim, and this next man I'm about to say, that's from Jackson State, is basically impressive. We got Cedric Anderson, 6'3", 192. He's from Grambling, running 4.64. Amari Hill Robinson from Bethune-Cookman coming in at 5'10", 179 pounds, 180. Ran a 4.7, but when I'm looking at this, like I said, when I'm looking at these numbers, when pro day comes, the numbers should be able to improve. The numbers are going to be improved when pro day comes. With the safeties, and that's pretty much it. Safeties, basically, John Huggins coming off with the safeties. True legit height, 6'1", coming in at 211 pounds. His official 40-yard dash was 4.45. His unofficial, what I sent to my folks, when I watch an NFL Network and I sent to my people, was a 4.39 or 4.38. We talking about a dude that is freakishly athletic. Not only did he run a 4.45, he also had a vertical of 38 and a half inches. And his broad jump was 11 feet, 1 inch. He did his shuttle time was 4.36, and his 3-cone drill was 6.91. And this is best from almost everybody. Everybody who ran the 3-cone shuttle. everybody who ran the 3-cone, he was the best out of everybody. And that's why I was like, with John, he's going to be on somebody's team. And the best thing about John, Mr. Huggins, is the fact that he plays special teams, which is at Jackson State also, besides being a starter. Jordan Carter from Southern coming in at 5'10", 191, ran a 4.6, 4.63. I actually like this game. I actually like his game too because he's a hitter. Him and Huggins are hitters. And this other guy I'm about to say, Jordan Tolles, he's a transfer from LSU who went to Morgan State, 6 feet, almost close to 6'1", 207 pounds, ran a 4.64, but his tape speaks highly of his tape, what he did at Morgan. With that, playing in that defense with Damian Wilson. Oh my goodness. Just don't know. But the ones who impressed me, Miss Simply, DJ ran a 4.84. I'm looking at him getting that 40 time down. He was nervous running through the wide receiver gauntlet, but like I said, once he got it to the point of going through the passing drills with the QBs, he basically kind of settled down. Damn, bro, how you get the flu, cuz? Get better, Craig. Like I said, those who need to improve, I would say, like I said, Quentin Williams needs to improve immensely as far as when it comes down to passing the ball, throwing the ball. Like I said, he needs to work on his intermediate and his short pass game. Jeremy Musa kind of needs to work on the accuracy a little bit. Davis Richard pretty much was the best QB that was out there throwing the ball. And even Donovan Reddick from West Virginia State, he did throw the ball around. But they pretty much going to overlook his measurables because Donovan coming in at 5'11", 207. Another person, like two other people who impressed me was Ladarius Owens and Jarvion Howard from Alcorn and Texas Southern, respectively. So I'm looking at them to see what they do in their pro day. I'm looking at them to see what they do in their pro day. So hopefully everything goes well. This is the week of the Legacy Bowl. So the combine was yesterday. Yeah, I talked about Owens, bro. Hey, he looked good out there. He looked good. He ran well. 4.56 in the 40. He ran well, so I mean, he might get that number down at the pro day. My whole thing is get him on the team and let him play special teams so you can see what he can do in the running game. Because we talking about both of these dudes are downhill runners. They probably Jarvion is more of a downhill runner, and Ladarius is more of your shifty back, but he can go down here. He can put his head down. We've seen that, especially we saw it during the Texas Southern game. The Alcorn game, we saw that. We saw what he can do, and I wouldn't put anything past him. As far as the receivers, Taman Cook and Marcus Riley did jump out to me. Terrell Gardner and Petrie kind of have to make some get a little bit of adjustments. But like I said, put them on special teams. Tamon Cook, especially with his speed and his returnability, you put him on special teams. Pretty much majority of the tight ends are mostly yes, he did decommit. Well, he did decommit. He got kicked out. That's another story. Tight ends coming in pretty much. These are more your blocker type tight ends, but they are pass catchers. Kamari Young and DJ Stevens were by far was the best two tight ends the last 2 years in the SWAC. If you don't believe me, argue your mama. Of course, Adrian Hemphill from Texas Southern on the offensive line look impressive, but hopefully they'll get his weight up for him to play. I think he'll be able to play tackle or guard or even center. Yeah, I put him on all three positions on the offensive line. But like I said, Eric Smith impressed me yesterday. Jaheim Hazler impressed me. John Huggins impressed me yesterday. So those are the guys who impressed me, and the other guys that need to do improvement by the time their pro day comes. Hopefully we'll be able to hear their names get called in the NFL draft. But if not, let's make sure that they can get on to as an undrafted free agent and make the team. Let them get into the best thing for the thing about it is we need to get them in for OTAs and for training camp. You want to get them for training camp, see what they can do, put them in actual game situations, and let their play dictate if they're going to be on the team or not. So that's what I say. But anyway, I done talked about the combine for about a little bit longer than what I wanted to talk about it for. But we'll be right back after this commercial, y'all.
It's your boy Doc Holliday. Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also you can get birthday shoutouts on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket.
All right, we back and we are back and we are back. The next thing on my topic list right here, y'all, is, ooh, my goodness, what was going on in basketball yesterday? It was a wild night in the hoop world last night. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So we're going to jump on to the... we're going to jump on, first and foremost, we're going to jump on to the women's. We get the women's going on in SWAC action yesterday from Saturday. Saturday, of course, FAMU and Jackson State squared off again in Jackson this time, where Jackson State beats the snakeskin off the Rattlers by 27, 71-44. Alabama A&M defeats Mississippi Valley 64-51. Alcorn takes care of Bethune, 51-40. Pine Bluff defeats Alabama State, 70-47. Southern takes care of Prairie View in overtime, 75-68. And Grambling come out with a close victory against Texas Southern, 60-55. This is from Saturday. Now, yesterday was a wild game. Yesterday, Jackson State start off real sluggish against Bethune, and that's what Bethune wants you to do. They want you to be sluggish. They want you to make the game ugly. But in the end, Jackson State prevails in the game, 52-39. The upset of the night yesterday was Alabama A&M defeating Arkansas Pine Bluff, 67-59. Alcorn takes care of FAMU, 64-49. Grambling defeats Prairie View, 64-55. Texas Southern stays winning against Texas Southern, 68-52. And Mississippi Valley State takes care of Alabama State last night, 67-59. In the SWAC standings, y'all. Before we get to that, let me get into the MEAC standings. So, yesterday, basically, South Carolina State loses to Howard, 69-51. Now, I'm going to tell you about this game right here. South Carolina State, Howard started the game in the first quarter, 26-2. 26-2. And then in the second half, pretty much they kind of just let their guard down, and this game should have never been close. If you start off the game 26-2 in the first quarter, this should be a blowout regardless. But it wasn't. Norfolk State Lady Spartans take care of Central, 72-44. Maryland Eastern Shore defeats Coppin State, 73-51. And Morgan State, Delaware State, they postponed the game. So hopefully they will be able to play on Saturday. Let's see. Look at the standings in the MEAC. Norfolk State is still on top at 8-1 in conference play, 19-5 overall. So on the women's side for the MEAC, Norfolk State continue doing what they do. I do not see them being what they were last year. I do not see them being a 15 seed. I see them being like a 13 seed or a 12 seed, or no lower than a 14 seed. That's what I see. That's what I see. They have been the most consistent group, other than Jackson State, in women's HBCU basketball. I'm just putting it just like that. Central, Coppin, and Howard coming in at 6-3. Eastern Shore 4-4. Morgan 2-5. Delaware State 2-6. And South Carolina State 0-9. And in the SWAC on the women's side, Jackson State women 13-0 in conference, 18-6 overall. Right behind them is Grambling at 10-3, 16-8. Pine Bluff and Southern coming in at third, 9-4 respectively. Alabama A&M with coming in fifth place at 7-6. FAMU 6-7. Bethune, PV, Alcorn coming in at a 5-8 records. Texas Southern at 4-9. Alabama State 3-10, and Mississippi Valley is bringing up the rear at 2-11. Now, in last night's game against Pine Bluff, and Alabama A&M. Pine Bluff, Zay Green for Pine Bluff is basically was, I'm not gonna say she was, but team fighting each other. That's something that we don't need to see right there. Hopefully Coach Thornton got those ladies together. Um, and hopefully with what happened, the significance of what happened, they are able to actually turn it around and they're able to turn it around and get back on the winning track. Because I actually do like their program. I actually do like what Coach Thornton does with the program. Um, I feel like they were a legitimate threat in the SWAC this season. Uh, they was a legitimate threat in the SWAC this season, but they are still at third place behind Grambling. Um, that Grambling squad is a squad I wouldn't say I'd be scared of, but I pay close attention to, because the reason why I say that is the fact that Pine Bluff can be vulnerable, and Grambling is just knocking on their door. They knocking on the door for that opportunity. Keep knocking on the door for the opportunity, and guess what? The opportunity might come in the SWAC championship game on the women's side. All depends on how they do the season for the conference tournament. Now, again, also the trainers for Bethune-Cookman wanted to fight the cheerleaders for Jackson State last night. Hey, y'all, control your people. Control your people. If that trainer started it, control your people. Control your folks. Control them. Control them. That's all I got to say. Because I'm sorry to tell you, Bethune, you is far away from home. And you are in the land of Jew City. Control your people. That's all I got to say. That's pretty much all I got to say. On the men's side, the men's score had me. I had to basically get my damn blood pressure medicine out. Hey, Rich Diaz can get active. That man from Chicago. that man from Chicago. But anyway, the men's game made me want to get my blood pressure medicine. Just make sure my blood pressure was straight. But anyway, oh my goodness. From the MEAC side yesterday, South Carolina State takes care of Howard's men yesterday, 75-68. Oh, how the Mecca have fallen. Morgan State goes up to the House of Horrors, that is Dover, Delaware, take on Delaware State, gets blown out by Delaware State, 80-58. Eastern Shore defeats Compton State by 8, 75-67. And last but not least, Norfolk State and Central square up. So Norfolk State stays on the winning trail, defeats Central 80-74. Yeah, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson got food. You are a long way from home, and you in Juice City. I just had to say that. All right, on the MEAC standings, Norfolk State is sitting at 72 in conference. This is the men 17-9 overall. In second place, Morgan, South Carolina State, Central, Howard, and Delaware State are all 5-4. Eastern Shore comes in at 3-6. And last place is Coppin with a 1-8 conference record, y'all. What's going on, Square? Yes, sir. I got a midday program because I had to be at work at like 4 o'clock today. So that's the reason why. Now let's get to the SWAC because the SWAC was wild last night. Jackson State made me lose my damn blood pressure last night, but they did come out with the 1-point victory over Bethune, 61-60. Texas Southern takes care of Southern. That was the big upset right there, 68-56. Mississippi Valley is 0-20. 0-25. 0-26. My bad. Losing to Alabama State, 61-46. Alabama A&M takes care of business against Pine Bluff, 75-67. Alcorn made FAMU fumble, 79-68, and Grambling in State Fair Classic on the hardwood court takes care of Prairie View, 83-74. Yes, I called that Texas Southern victory over Southern an upset because Southern is in the lead in the standings right now. They are tied with Grambling. They are tied with Grambling right now in the conference, 10-3. Jackson State on a 4-game winning streak. We are back up 500 in the conference, 8-5, 12-14 overall. Texas Southern and Alcorn also coming in at 85 in the conference, 7-6. Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State, Alabama A&M. Pine Bluff coming in with a 6-7 record. Prairie View coming in with a 5-8 record. FAMU 2-11, and Valley 0-13. Valley don't pick it up. I think Valley ends the season 0-31. Yeah, Mr. Emmy, I talked about that. I talked about that with Pine Bluff women. You can't fight your teammates, especially in a crucial time like this when you only got 5 games left in the conference. So, you only got 5 games left in the conference. So, you gotta be able to get it turned around. Got to be able to turn around. So, if the season was to end today, Jackson State would be the 3rd place team in the conference, behind Grambling and behind Southern. So they will be seated 3rd. So pretty much that, if the conference was to start off, and then basically they will play, I think, the 6th seed in the tournament. So if the season was to end today, but we're gonna let them continue playing basketball. On to the OVC. OVC, you had Tennessee State taking a loss to Western Illinois, 68-61. They did not play yesterday. They do have a game on Thursday against Eastern Illinois. That is in Nashville. That game is going to be on ESPN Plus. On Saturday, they do play against Southern Illinois. They finish out the rest of the season against Arkansas Little Rock and against UT Martin. So they can get a better seed in the conference tournament. Willie, you just on everything last night, was you? Also, again, like I said, check out, if you want to check out some good basketball, check out Langston University men's basketball program, led by Coach Chris Wright. We talk about a team that has not lost at home in 2 years. They are 30-0 at home in the last 2 years. Check out that brand of basketball, NAIA, winners of the Sooner Athletic Conference. Again, you'll see them make some noise in the NAIA playoffs, y'all. You'll see them make some noise in that tournament right there. But let's get to the next one right here after this commercial break, y'all. Be right back.
Yo, it's your boy Doc Holiday with HBCU Overdrive. And I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically designed to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiasts.
All right, we are back. We are back. Oh my goodness, we are back. Yeah, I'm on early. For those who want to know, I am on early because I do have to be at work today at 4:00. So you won't see me on tomorrow. You won't see me on HBCU Nightly because I get off at midnight. So hopefully my schedule changes after that. So, but anyway, this was in the news earlier this week. Jackson State University settles with Summit Management Corporation and Southern Heritage Classic for $800K. And pretty much that's what was owed to them. If we were to still play in the game, basically it would have been close to $400,000 that we would have got. But in a sense, we weren't even gonna make that money back up. So now, and y'all see the bottom of the banner. Why is Dion being mentioned for everything JSU has done since his departure? That's something that I'm getting so freaking irritated about, y'all. I'm getting so freaking irritated. And so we already known that we were gonna have to settle that dispute with Fred Jones, Summit Management Corporation, and the Southern Heritage Classic and the City of Memphis because yes, we did breach the contract. Now I will give this is something that I would give Dion credit for. The credit that he did get, I would give him was looking at the contract and said, "Hey, we get pennies on the dollar. Why are we still playing in this game? Why are we still playing this game if we're not making no money?" I will give him that. That would be his part of his credit right there. Now, Um, so I'm getting tired of these folks always bringing up this man right here. One article I read was Glory from Glory, Colorado, which is powered by Fansided. Written by Andrew Hughes. So basically, this is what happens. This is what's going on. Coach Prime came out of pocket for the Southern Heritage Classic while at Jackson State, Colorado football source. Okay, so here's the article, y'all. Coach Prime reportedly came out of pocket to pay for the Southern Heritage Classic during his Jackson State coaching tenure, according to a source who spoke with Buffs Beats Jason Jones, which was why current Colorado football head coach Deion Sanders railed against the Tigers' involvement in the game. JSU obliged pulling out of the contract, and the payout for doing so was settled on February the 19th, which was yesterday. But I feel like this was settled way beforehand. Sanders was frustrated with the one-sided deal that left Jackson State scrounging up money to make the trip to Western Tennessee for more of a battle of the bands with a football game as an undercard event, Jones prefaced before saying, according to a source, the Hall of Famer was pulling from his pockets to make the situation whole. However, Coach Prime was vocal about what needed to change, and JSU pulled out of the contract with Summit Management Corporation, who puts on the event. Per HBCU Game Day, the price tag Jackson State must pay for avoiding agreement is a substantial one. According to a Freedom of Information Act filed by the Clarion Ledger, an $800,000 settlement was reached for opting out for the 23 and 24 games between Jackson State and Tennessee State, the HBCU Game Day Newswire staff wrote. SMC sought $1.8 million in damages for the 2023 and 2024 games from Jackson State after it announced that it would not participate in the game back in 2022. Jackson State entered into a contract with SMC in 2019 to play in the game for 5 seasons. Through the 2024 season, SMC also sought more than $5 million in damages per year from the SWAC, which it claims interfered with the deal between Jackson State and Summit Management Corporation. Now, first and foremost, I'm trying to figure out how can he come out of his pocket for something How can he come out of his pocket for something that was already paid for? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get a full understanding here, y'all. I'm trying to get a full understanding. They said a Colorado football source that he pulled money out of his pocket to pay for part of the Southern Heritage Classic. I call it cap. Now, the only sources that would be there right now would be people on his coaching staff. It will be Neely. That's the only source that I would think of. That's the only connection I would think of. That's the only way I would think that you get your source from. Because I'm tired of, if the, I'll put it like this. Me and Timon, we talked about this last night. We talked about this last night when the news came out, in which it was late already because the Clarion Ledger is full of shit. I'm sorry to say this, but the money that we made last season, was enough to cover that $800,000 in settlement. It was well enough to cover that $800,000 in settlement. So I don't know why the Clarion Ledger decides that they want to shit on our parade. We've had a good year so far with our school, with our brand, and I'm trying to figure out why you trying to shit on us. And then there was another thing said Coach Prime moved sons to Colorado football from JSU for their betterment. HBCU funded despite the spotlight shown on them by NBA stars like LeBron James has not been close to where it needs to be relative to the funding most state schools receive. Jackson State, which is in Mississippi, while it underfunded Capital City, is a notable offender. In fact, fellow Magnolia State HBCU Alcorn State was just found to have seen its funding sent to Mississippi State instead. Had Coach Prime kept his sons at JSU, many would be complaining about how they are ducking better competition and moving in with him in a step up in competition and in general quality of life to play for Colorado football and live in Boulder. Sanders did everything in his power to boost his sons into the NFL draft conversation. I'm gonna put it like this: football is football. No matter if it's FBS, FCS, D2, D3, NAIA, whatever, Pop One or whatever. Competition is competition. I mean, you go out there, you play who you play. You know, that's all I see. That's all I had to say. If they would have stayed at Jackson, Shador would have been a freaking legend. He would have been a legend at Jackson State. Shiloh was already a legend at Jackson State. So I'm just putting it in perspective of what's going on. And then there was another article that I seen. This was from Buffs Beat. And this one was written by Jason Jones. And you are correct, Amber. That insides up well with the competition at Colorado. Deion Sanders has been in Colorado for over a year, but people in Mississippi Delta region can't stop talking about him. First of all, let's get this straight. Jackson is nowhere near the Delta. I'm gonna need you to take a map. We'll draw out what the Mississippi Delta looks like. Jackson is nowhere near the Delta. Jackson is nowhere. Thank you, Amber. We're nowhere near the Delta. It takes 45 minutes to get to the beginning of the Delta if you were to go through Yazoo City. If you was to go through Lexington. Come on now. Stop. Come on now. Stop shitting on us, man. So, finish it out. For everything Coach Prime did to boost Jackson State's profile and help bring attention to the school, he still blamed he's still blamed for everything at every turn, this time over a massive lawsuit for JSU pulling out of the Southern Heritage Classic against Tennessee State 2 years ago during his tenure. Sanders was frustrated with the one-sided deal that left Jackson State scrounging up money to make the trip to Western Tennessee for more of a battle of the bands with a football game as an undercard event. According to a source, the Hall of Famer was pulling from his pockets to make the situation whole. However, Coach Prime was vocal about what needed to change, and JSU pulled out of the contract with Summit Management Corporation, who puts on the event. But not all tradition is good, and like it or not, the agreement was flawed in many regards. Sanders was right about accident and stood on business. The numbers don't lie either. Jackson State reportedly made a total of $6.3 million over the course of 28 years in the Heritage, which works out to be $225,000 per game. According to Anskate's John Jocks Taylor, who is from Oak Cliff, no wonder why he wanted to ditch the matchup for a better situation. Every SEC school plays a lower division opponent later in the season and pays upwards of $1 million, millions to host the game. Not to say that was a long-term option, but it's better than going broke in the sake of keeping the event alive for the fans in Memphis. First of all, let's not compare us to an SEC school. We are far from an SEC school. I don't too much really care about this, about what these folks talking about. And you right, that is no real money. For 28 years, there's no real money. And then from what some that I heard yesterday, that Fred Jones did not make money doing this. So basically, the pimp is getting pimped by the city. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? The pimp is getting pimped by the city. But that's another story right there. At the time, Sanders posted on Instagram to explain it all, saying 7 buses for the band. We have 4 buses with all of our people, and who else goes? Administration, hotel accommodations, food, all that. By the time we get back, we're broke. Which is, he was correct. He's correct. By the time we get back, we're broke. After legal proceedings, Jackson State has reportedly settled for $800,000, which people are starting to pin solely on Coach Prime. They were 3 years into the 5-year contract between both schools at SMC. It also predated Sanders inking his first major coaching deal with the Tigers. University of Arkansas Pine Bluff replaced Jackson State in the 2023 Southern Heritage Classic. At the end of the day, Prime drove in an economic way to one of the most impoverished areas of the country. He deserves credit for that, but couldn't fix all the problems or have answers to the lack of resources at Jackson State. That's a multi-layered conversation that goes as high as Mississippi Governor Tate Reed's office and down to the direct decision makers at JSU. Sanders is an easy target because there are some who believe that he abandoned his position at the HBCU while he moved on to a better opportunity. Let's not forget how bad conditions were before he decided to take over. Sanders arrived at Jackson State and created a boom with $185 million in advertising and exposure. Athletic director Ashley Robinson told USA Today 3 years ago. That doesn't count for an extra year, the outside money coming in, and big-time exposure from national sources. Forget the $1 million sent by P. Diddy to JSU's football program after Sanders left. Sources tied to the university tell BuzzFeed that they reallocated the money to use in the general academic fund. First of all, I'm trying to figure out, if you're a source from Jackson State, why are you talking to this guy from Colorado who clearly has a freaking agenda about trying to trash us and make This man looked like he's on a pedestal, like he's freaking God. Like I said, I give Coach Prime his props for what he did. Looked at the contract and said, "Hey, we getting pennies on the dollar. We gotta go. I'm not playing in this. We're not gonna play in this." So, uh, my whole thing is, if whoever the source is from the university, why is you talking to this guy right here from Colorado? This is clearly uh, it's not a PR move. This is whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Uh, Continue on. Jackson State was on life support, and Sanders gave them a much needed boost by using his connections. Don't blame the man for working in the best interest of school. Everyone needs someone like Coach Prime in the room to question the ethics of others on all levels. That's exactly what he did. It should be applauded for. But instead, people are shaming him with a one-sided story. It's time for JSU to realize they were playing in the big leagues and swimming in the prime effect, like Scrooge McDuck in his money pit. That comes along with the cost of doing business. First of all, I mean, it's a good article. It's well written article, but I'm gonna spot some shit in here that's some mistakes. So what? So where was Jackson State on life support before Prime got there? I wouldn't call it life support, but I would say we was close to hidden life support. But you gotta realize we were on our third coach in 4 years. In like four and a half years. We was on our third coach in 2019. When I say well written, I'm a grammar police. I look at grammar and everything, but as far as what I'm saying, as far as the details and everything, I I I I question it. Um, and then he said, "Don't blame the man for working in the best interest of school." No, I'm sorry to say this, sir, but Deion Sanders was working in the best interest for himself. And it's like some lies. Deion Sanders was not working for the best interest of the university. Deion Sanders was working for the best interest of himself. Deion Sanders was looking forward to get a boost going into the Power Five realm when he became the head coach of Jackson State. Nobody didn't want to touch him. He didn't have a degree. They didn't want to touch him. He had a background. Most schools didn't want to touch him at the time. We gave him his start. He gave him his chance. But he wanted to think this is like Florida State. No, this ain't Florida State. This is not none of the big schools. Now you could make it seem like it's a big school, but we not Florida State. We are the good HBCU that has won countless numbers of conference championships and national championships to boot. When I say it was all good when he was there, it was all good when he was there when he was winning. But let's stop with the bashing of the university. He made himself to be this this Messiah saying that he was going to help out HBCUs. He was going to do this. But all he did really was, of course, yes, he boosted Jackson State, but he was in it for himself. He was in it to put his son on a pedestal. His prize pupil, which is Shador. He don't care too much about Shiloh. He don't care too much about Shiloh. He cared about Shador. That's it. Shador is his bread and butter. It's his moneymaker. Yeah, I'm about to open it up for a second, Mr. Willie, because I actually need you to come on here. We can talk about some baseball. We got baseball 101 coming up. Baseball season has started. There you go. There you go. I'll open up the link for you. Come on up. I'm not giving him too much credit. I'll give him the credit as far as giving us the wins, giving us our 2 SWAC titles and stuff like that, putting little things. I ain't giving him the credit of him being the freaking messiah of HBCU football. I would never give him that credit. I'm not giving him that credit. I promise you. Like I said, he was in it for himself. He wasn't in it for the school. He was in it for himself. I'm going to stand on it. I'm not giving him all the credit. I'm not a dick rider. Excuse my language. I'm none of that. I don't ride meat. None of that. His claim is basically I got my prize pupil son to the NFL. My other son, shoot, I really just don't I don't think he wants to play football. All right. What's going on?
What's going on, Doc?
Ain't nothing. What you got? What you got for me? What's the word for me?
Yeah, I wanted to get into your chat the other day when you was talking about the coaching situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would have wished that we had the guy from Grambling, Hugh Jackson, for the defense, but I think that TC need to call the play.
For the
I'm not
offense.
for the offense. I think they need to groom somebody for assistant offensive coordinator, you know, for somebody to be in the skybox, somebody that's thinking along his same level where they can be in the press box and call the plays down. But I think he need to call all the offensive plays. I think you need to have a Javancy Jones is a good choice. But my first choice would have been to reach out to Hugh Jackson because he could have brought over not only could he have brought over some resources, but you're gonna have that type of experience. I don't like talking about the last coach that we had, but when he brought people in, he brought he brought in a lot of players from the NFL that knew how to get there and knew what it took to get those players to play on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said I would have reached out to Hugh Jackson. But I definitely believe it should be no question that TC should and I hope somebody's listening. He should do the majority of calling the plays, and the person they put as an assistant defensive coordinator, whatever, they should just be the skybox people, and he should take that on himself because he does a pretty good job, and it's a lot of the coaches that are offensive minded and they call their own plays normally be pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take on that.
Okay, Uncle Willie. People say move your move your camera back, your phone back a little bit. They say
I
you
didn't want my face to be so I was trying to cut the camera off.
Oh, you can
I,
cut the camera off. You can cut the
I was
camera off for
trying
sure.
to. I don't know. It's, the format done changed now.
Oh yeah, I got a
Okay.
new thing. Yeah, you can cut the camera off.
Mm-hmm.
But no, in a sense, it's too early, Jeremiah. But in a sense, look, we settled with the Southern Heritage Classic in SMC for $800,000. I think that
Mm.
was already settled months prior to when we made all the money from home football games and stuff like that. So we pretty much made what we had to settle this right here. These were deals that were bad. Like I would say, that was a bad deal. Like why would in a sense, I'm I have to give. Like I said, this is the only credit I would give Prime. Looking at their contract and say we're not getting no money.
Let me ask you this, Doc. Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
When it first happened, after the first 5 years, I wanted to see were you in the same place. The first after the first five, well, probably the first 3 years, I thought that thing should have rotated from Jackson to Memphis, Jackson to Memphis, and then they went and renewed another contract, but right before Dion came, and extended it more years. See, if it would have rotated, at the Vet and at the Liberty Stadium, I think things would have been a lot better. But that guy that was doing it was a shyster individual. If you look at the whole, they wasn't getting no money.
Well, he
And
was
like,
from what I heard, he wasn't getting no money either. He got pimped by the pimps. Hey, it is what it is. Like I'm calling like I see it. He got
you're
pimped.
right. That's what it
He got
sounds like.
he got pimped by some other pimps. So if he ain't making no money, of course we ain't gonna make no money. But the city of Memphis gonna make money. The University of Memphis, because we use their stadium, is gonna make money. So we don't keep them tickets.
I know, and unfortunately, Prime had to come down and shake things up. But hell, the people. Man, that was a bad deal for you to get in. Then they re-up, but Doc, they re-upped on the contract and they went and entered another contract. And that's that's the end of the contract they're getting out of now. And man, and if you know numbers, I know numbers. My dad didn't allow me. I'm not lying. I'm telling you, my dad didn't allow me to use a calculator. So I had to seriously, I had to learn numbers. And I knew numbers way back when, man. And Doc, I don't want to piss nobody off. But I'm finna tell you how things don't make sense. See, if you got a stadium that's holding 50,000, close to 60,000 people, you can charge pretty much what you want to charge. And I knew way back then they was making $1 million in that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love Zoe, I love Ken, but I'm gonna tell you something that don't make sense. See, I heard Zoe say something about he seen a place downtown behind the convention center where they could put a basketball stadium, a 10,000 seat basketball stadium. But the athletic and assembly center hold 8,000. If you put those portable bleachers out there and roll them out on the floor, you can probably get another 2,000 out there. But why would you want to go build a basketball stadium off campus, and you want to build a football stadium on campus where you don't have no room? It don't make no sense. I mean, it don't make no sense. If you build a new stadium, if you build a 40,000 seat stadium, the average ticket is going to be $60, $70, and this is not the economy here in Mississippi to get that. You're going to be just like Alcorn and the rest of them with 30 people in your stand. But you got a stadium that's given to you pretty much. Only thing y'all knuckleheads have to do, not talking to you, Doc, only thing you knuckleheads had to do for the last effing 40 years is to tear all that stuff down at the farmer's market, build a big a parking garage with a facility out on the side for you to do your tailgating, and you'll have you'll have state of the art type deal there. You won't have to worry about your parking. But
Okay.
Doc, another thing people don't talk about. I don't know how much you know about this, but see, I remember all this stuff back during '86 when I graduated. The reason, Jackson State had an opportunity to having a medical program, having UMC is one of their medical programs as the hospital.
Right.
But from my understanding, those knuckleheads that's in the alumni wanted a stadium just like Alcorn, so they turned all this. That's the main reason they turned it down. And I think I just know that we need to get some more unification, get some damn sense in our head. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And people act like they don't. And people act like they don't want. They don't want to talk about it. But hell, I know 100 alumni from Jackson State, so y'all can't shoot the shit up my ass. I know what's happening.
All right.
I'm done with that.
All right. So we're gonna get into some baseball 101. So
Come
we
on with
had
it.
so we had baseball started. Baseball season started this week, this past weekend with the Cactus Jack Invitational down in Houston that was put on by Travis Scott. And if you don't know the connection with him and HBCUs, his parents went to HBCU. His parents went to Prairie View. So that's his connection with HBCU. So this is his third. I think this is his third year of putting on the Cactus Jack Invitational, and I think every year since he has put this invitational on, Jackson State baseball has been in this tournament since its inception. This past weekend we went 2-1 because I think the first game we lost to I think it was to Texas Southern, but the last two were good games, and also the last game against Grambling was kind of heated, but it ended in grand fashion with a walk-off single to bring in the winning run in the bottom of the ninth. So go ahead.
Is DJ still on the team?
What's that?
Is DJ Stevens still on the baseball team?
No, DJ is actually doing combine, HBCU combine. He's down in
I got you.
New Orleans for the Legacy Bowl.
He was a heck of first baseman, man. He was a heck of a first baseman. Baseball is his first sport, man. Yeah,
right.
I'm happy for him.
I had talked about that too. I'm like, we got a guy that plays tight end, but his first sport was baseball. He hasn't been playing football for a long time, so for him to get the opportunity to go into the HBCU combine and the Legacy Bowl, get his invite to the Legacy Bowl, and to be on another stage to get himself to his dream as far as being in the NFL, it speaks wonders. I like it.
Let me say something behind that. That's why I want to tell a lot of the parents. This is important. This is right here is a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
DJ was a hell of a first baseman. Him and my son, they come up together. They good. And me and his daddy, we was the old because me and DJ's father grew up together, and so we grew up playing baseball. And Dwayne played a little basketball. I think he played a little basketball at Jackson too. And but we wanted our sons to play baseball. But it was little bird came in my ear and said, let them boys play everything they want to play because you never know. Mm-hmm. Now we thinking that our boys gonna be baseball players, but they was just as good of a football players as they was baseball players. Football, basketball. So people out there, you have young ones, let them play all sport. If you have a 3-year-old to 6-year-old, start them off in soccer. Let them get used to running, getting that adrenaline up, and then let them play whatever sport they want to play. All of them are expensive, but let them play any sport, every sport they want to play, because you never know what they're going to excel in. That's what I want to say.
Mm-hmm. So we got the baseball terminology. So to Mona, she was like, I was liking it, but she didn't understand what some of the terminology was. So I'm like, okay, so here's part of the terminology: walk off. So walk off basically is if you are down, let's say you down by 1, it's the bottom of the ninth, you got a person on base. Doesn't matter if it's on first, second, or third. You got a person on base. Let's say you got 2 outs. You got 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, right? You down by 1. hey, you hit a double. Let's say you hit a double to left center or to the left to left field and just screaming. Guess what? That run is coming home, and you uh you can tie the game, and then let's say you got two people on base. If you can, a double could clear both the bases regardless. Uh, and basically, when you look at it, you can, two runs come in, you down by one, two runs come in, boom, that's game. Why why you gotta go?
Let me try
That's
to
it.
explain it better. Let me try to
Explain,
explain it better.
explain, explain it better.
A walk off is the last play made.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. They lost Uncle Willie. So basically, like you said, it's the last play made. If you are down by a run or two, and basically you are at bat, basically bringing in the runs, you win the game. There's no need to wait till the final out. You win the game. Um, yep, last play that gives the team behind the victory. That's it. That is what we call a walk off. There you go. So you got terms like slapper, chopper, uh, line drive, fly out, pop out. Pretty much those are basically types of hits. Slapper, basically you slapping the ball. You're basically you're not even hitting the ball. You basically slapping the ball um, to pretty much try you trying to slap the ball and get on base. Uh, of course, bunt. You already know if people know what a bunt is. You basically uh, try to get on base, or you try to move your man. If you got somebody on base, you try to move your man to advance to another base, and that's what we call a sacrifice. But because you sacrifice your at bat to move the man to the next base. You got line drive. Basically, line drive is let's just say it like this: if a pitcher throw at you and you hit that thing and it goes directly back to the pitcher and he has to duck, that is a line drive. That's a lot like that. That's one of them. That's one of them plays. That's one of them hits where you have to have your head on a swivel, just like in football. Um, Bro, there's a thing as a slapper in baseball. I know this. Come on now. You can't fool me. Uh, Pop out, fly out. Basically, hey, it is what it is. You pop the ball in the air. Basically, outfielder, infielder makes the catch, or even the catcher or pitcher makes the catch. Of course, everybody knows what a home run is. Basically, clears the wall. Um, Automatically round the bases. You got first base, second base, shortstop, third base, pitcher, catcher, left field, center field, right field. Um, yeah, no hitters. Yeah, no hitters in perfect game. So basically, a no hitter is basically you are a pitcher and you have not gave up a hit throughout the whole game, which is a no hitter. Perfect game means basically you are perfect. You gave up no hits, no runs, no errors, no walks. Like that Uh-oh. I got. All right. I think you got it in the background.
Yeah,
All right. So we on baseball terminology and stuff like that.
yeah. The guy was telling you about the slap hit. Basically, what a slap hitter is a is a batter that goes with the pitch. If the pitch is on the outside, he slaps the ball to the right to left field.
Uh-oh.
Left-handed, he'll slap it to right field or whatnot. That's what they call a slap hitter, but it's just basically going with the pitch, slapping at the pitch. That's not really a. That's just a terminology they use, in
Mm-hmm.
baseball. But that's basically what they describing when they describing a slap hitter, a batter that normally goes with the pitch. No, they can have power, Aaron Jones. They can have power. They just hitting for average. You have batters. I wish you guys got a chance to see my son play. You got guys that can hit for average. Like in high school, he batted like 490 and had a couple of home runs. He could hit for power and average. You have guys that's like that. Um, Perfect game. You were talking about perfect game pitching. I was a pitcher. That's the hardest thing to do. I done threw a couple of no hitters and I done threw a couple of games that I didn't walk anyone. But a no hitter is man, that's a once in a lifetime achievement on any level. On any level, a no hitter on any level is a lifetime achievement. That's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Real hard to do.
Yeah, no hitters. I think a perfect game is harder to do than a no hitter because both of them is almost the same. But the perfect game is basically you retire 27 batters. That means
Right.
that you don't give up nothing. Like you,
No
when they
walks, nothing.
no nothing. When I say you have to be perfect, you have to be perfect. It is not too many pitchers that have. It's not a lot of pitchers that have pitched a perfect game.
Jamal Clark. You know why they call? I'm sorry,
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah Clark. You know why they call slap hitters, softball players slap hitters? You know why people play softball? Because they can't hit a baseball. You talking baseball now? I'm finna piss some people off. That's why. That I never played baseball other than just recreational. I watch women play softball. I mean softball. Softball for men that can't hit. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
uh, he said softball for men who can't hit.
Yeah,
No,
that's a
but
girl sport. Yeah, man. They hit the ball like a up like yeah. Ask any baseball guy. That's men that can't hit. They can't hit a fastball. They probably most of them are pretty scared of a fastball,
right. So
and
you got
they can feel, but they can't really hit no pitch.
and then you got stuff uh and then you got terminology as far as from the pitches. You got, of course, you got your fastball, but there's different types of fastballs. Jeremiah, he can attest to different type of fastball: two seamer, four seamer, split finger fastball. You got your changeup, which is basically a changeup is basically a fastball but at a slower pace. A
Same
slider,
arm movement.
same arm movement, same mechanics, but it's at a slower pace. It'll look like a
Doc, I
fast.
didn't know you played baseball.
Yes, I did, sir.
God
I
dog
was
it, boy.
I was a catcher. I was a catcher. I tried
You
to
my
catch for a little
favorite
bit.
friend.
Yeah,
I
I
done
was.
played all nine, but yeah, man, you look like a catcher. Okay. We can talk some baseball then. Okay.
You got your change up. You got a slider. Slider basically anything that's coming that if you look at it, a pitch that's moving away from the plate, you're making the batter choose between where the ball is going to be placed at, and also you want to make him swing. And I call them bad pitches. I call them bad ball pitches. You want to make him swing at it. Yeah, and a split
Edwin.
finger is really
Edwin.
split finger is really a changeup.
Edwin Moore. But
Oh
let me
no no
tell you
no
something. Let me tell you something about that split finger. with a strong arm, that split finger move just like a slider.
Mm-hmm.
It'll move quick. Like my son, he could throw 90 miles an hour. His changeup is 79 miles an hour. His split finger is like 79, 80 miles an hour. It's gonna slow up, but it's not gonna. Damn, it's hard to explain to people. If you ain't never hit 90 miles an hour pitching, it's kind of hard to explain. 90 miles an hour, and then somebody throw something 80 miles an hour with the same arm motion, same delivery, is gonna throw you off, and then it moves,
Mm-hmm.
and then it dives down or it breaks in. That's what a split finger, if it's thrown correctly with the right velocity and a good strong wrist, is gonna break.
The best player who had the best slider in all my years of watching baseball is Randy Johnson, because he was 6'10". His arm angle was damn near at chest level. And then you don't know if he was going to throw the fastball or the slider, because both of them look almost damn near the same, because they were sweep. Like when when you
Did you
talk about
ever see
sweep.
J.R. Richard?
Yeah, I seen J.R. Richard
Did you ever
before.
see J.R. Richard pitch? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and Arcan boys. Now them boys, they was
Yeah.
they was dynamite. Arcan come from Jackson State. Them boys now they okay. Go ahead.
Oh no.
I like Randy, but I like them boys a little bit better.
But yeah,
I like them boys a little bit better. Ain't
but
just not just because they black, but them boy they used and Bob Gibson. Now when I was
oh
young,
yeah, I
Bob
watch
Gibson. Right?
I watch videos of Bob Gibson. I watch videos of course, Oil Can. I watch Raleigh Fingers, uh, Catfish. uh, I'm bringing out. I'm showing my age. Watching World Series. I seen Dave Henderson. Dave Stewart. I'm sorry, Dave Stewart. Oakland A's was one of my
Oh yeah,
favorite teams when I
for the
was.
Cubs. Let me tell you something about that two seamer and that four seamer. Now that four seam fastball, it's a straight fastball.
It's a straight
You know,
fastball.
it's a straight fastball. Now that two seamer is gonna ride. If you're a right-handed thrower, it's gonna ride back back into the right-handed batter. If you're a left-handed pitcher, it's gonna ride back into the left-handed. It's gonna break out that way. It's gonna teal in. It's gonna teal. It's gonna catch the
Mm-hmm.
back part. When it's thrown correctly, it's gonna catch the back part of that plate. It's gonna look
Yeah.
like an outside pitch to that batter, but it's gonna move in. And then when you progress and get up to college and semi-pro, whatever, you learn how to place your pitches. You learn how to not just throw it in that same location. You learn how to place it. If you got 9 boxes in your hitting zone, and whenever you hear these people talking about he swung and he was out the zone, that means the pitcher had thrown a breaking pitch and he was swinging up high, and when it crossed the plate, it was down in the bottom zone. And when they throw those pitches, yeah, that's so you have to change the zones when you done got advanced in pitching. But that two seamer rides back across. It's not really a breaking pitch; it's a fastball. You could throw it 100 miles an hour, but it's gonna ride the tail on it, the tail and the revolution of the pitch is gonna make it tail. But that four seamer is a straight fastball.
The pitcher who throws the hardest fastball right now is Aroldis Chapman. We talk about a dude that can get his
Ooh, that
fast.
boy can throw. That boy from
He's
two
a
of them.
he's a reliever. He's a closer. He's a reliever, middle reliever, but he can get that fastball up to like 104, 105. I done seen him where he got it up to like 106, 107. Uh,
You know he lied about his age, don't you? You know
oh
that
yeah,
boy was young. He was like 17, 18 years old when he came to the league,
oh yeah.
throwing 100
I
miles
mean,
an hour.
yeah. I mean, but that's what they do from in Cuba. Like they gotta
I'm
because
so
they try to
glad they
make
let them
money.
Cuba players come over here, man. I'm so doggone glad. They some of the best ball players and they black too. But go ahead.
But yeah, when you talk about a guy, a four seam fastball basically is nothing but a straight up fastball. It's coming straight down the pipeline, and especially if it's somebody who is a heavy thrower, like a heavy thrower, like like Nolan Ryan speak. Oh, Nolan Ryan, he was a heavy fastball. He had a four seamer, he had a two seamer, he had his best pitch to me was that curveball is And when I say a
Yeah.
the one is the 6 to 12 curveball. So the 6 to 12 curveball look like
Yeah, 12 to
it's going
6. You talking about the
12
Uncle
to 12,
Charlie,
12 to 6. Yeah, the
the
12 to
drop.
6. And it dropped. And it's like, I'll say 6 to 12, 12 to 6. So it's like, it's like a clock. And as soon it goes up like 12 o'clock. And then when it gets towards that plate, it'll drop down to 6 o'clock.
Most
uh,
batters, if they ain't looking for it, they gonna duck when he releases it out of their hand, and when they realize it's a curveball, it's over the plate. Yeah. Then you got a 3-9 curveball breaking. You got yeah. It depends on how you hold your arm slot. You know, and it's and some of y'all fathers out there, man, when y'all get y'all young ones out there
Please don't
pitching,
teach them that curveball.
don't teach them no curveball until they get like a junior in high school. Let
Thank
them
you.
throw fastballs. Don't put them on no weights. Let them do push-ups. Let them develop, 100 push-ups a day. That's the best exercise in baseball. Don't mess them weights gonna stunt your growth, gonna mess you up. Don't throw no curveballs until you get in high school. Don't throw no curve. You can teach them to change up. Don't throw no
Don't throw
curveball.
no
Don't
curveballs.
have
Yeah.
them breaking their wrist. It's gonna throw their arms out. I've seen a ton of white boys get their arm thrown out.
Yeah,
And if
it's
you
like it's not even breaking their wrist. It's really you turn up your elbow. You turn up like because you put so much torque.
Yeah, yeah.
You put so much torque because you try to make the ball curve. You try to make the ball spin. It tears up your elbow right here, and a lot of pitchers basically what they call that is the Tommy John get the Tommy John surgery. Oh, you out for at least a year.
It's gonna mess up their career. It ain't
Mess
gonna
up
never
the
come back
career.
right.
That is what that in baseball that is the Achilles injury for baseball players is the elbow. The Tommy like especially for pitchers. Tommy John surgery, you out for a year. Just like in football or basketball, Achilles injury, you out for a year. But yeah, if I'm be real with you, do not teach your kids. If you got baseball, if you got kids that play baseball and they are trying to develop pitches, different type of pitches, do not teach your kids how to throw a curveball. Wait till, like you said, wait till high school where they can actually develop themselves and get their arm strength up there to throw the curveball.
Yeah, yeah. Look, the fastball. If they learn how to throw the four seamer, the two seamer fastball, and the four finger change, that's all they need. That's all they need. If they
Mm-hmm.
properly learn how to get the proper velocity on that fastball, on that four seamer, then throw that two seamer where it rides back across the plate, and throw that four seamer, four finger change. That's all they
Mm-hmm.
need. That's all they need. So they won't have to worry about splitting their finger doing the split. That four finger change, two seamer, and you gonna have to demonstrate, Doc. You're gonna have to show them how to sing, how they line the sings up, where they how they grip the ball.
Yeah,
But
I got to
next
get a
time we
basic.
come on, yeah, and
Yeah.
and, and yeah, but young, but parents, four seamer, two seamer, I mean four finger change, two seamer, and four seamer. That's all they need to learn how to throw. Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Mr. Haynes said when the pitcher balks, explain the call. So basically, the pitcher balk. If a pitcher balks, like it's a motion that a pitcher has to do, or it's something that the pitcher, um, like the foot has to be on the rubber. They have to, um, if you're throwing to first base, your body has to be aligned with the first, you know what I'm saying, be aligned with the
Mm,
first base. Like
you talking?
it's easy for a left-handed pitcher to throw to first base because he doesn't have to turn. So, but a right-handed pitcher has to turn his body, you know what I'm saying, almost 180 to get to first. But you can kind of explain more as far as what the balk
Okay,
is.
all right. About all right. Now you have to, in order to, you can't fake over the first base. You can't fake a throw to first base. You can fake it second base, fake it third base, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't fake a throw at first base. You have to, your foot have to come off the rubber to make the throw to first base. um, about a pitcher can't drop the ball while he in contact with the rubber. That's a balk.
That's about.
That means the runners advance. If a runners is on base, they advance a base. If a run, boy, I told some people ass up in Little League because they didn't teach their kids how to balk. And we were playing. It went up. But anyway, it's not funny. But anyway, if it's a lot of things.
It ain't funny if you got a runner on third and you balk and that runner goes straight home and you
Right.
score.
They couldn't understand that, man. Oh man, I scored like 5 runs against this team like that. You know, we just scored on them, and just made they pitch a ball, and the other coach like, need to get the score a run. Yeah, that's what happens when you balk. The runners advance the base, and so you know, people get your. Now I'm gonna tell you, I happen to coach my son and a lot of us fathers that played ball. It was just a different time 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
People now get your child in a good rec league. Then, if they're good enough, you put them in a travel league. You get them with somebody that's gonna teach them the right way. Don't get out there playing ninja ball. You want to learn the right way, and then you want to try to start sending them to camps and showcases. I guess when they're around 10, 11 years old, where they can get ranked up. See, Mississippi is not a baseball state. Texas is a baseball state. Florida is a baseball state. So you're gonna have to get your kids out there in things like Perfect Game, as with the other one here. It's a couple of showcases out there. Now it's gonna cost a few dollars. It's gonna cost. I only had to pay like $600 one time, but then my son was invited to a lot of stuff, and he became all American, and he was invited to all the rest of them. But you're gonna initially gonna have to pay about $100, $600, whatnot, in order to get them in those real good showcases. Once they get notarized and get timed and ranked and stuff, then it's gonna start coming easy. A lot of people gonna start sending you invitations and stuff. But get them in that 40-yard dash. Get their bat speed. Get their bat speed up to par. Get that arm throw from deep shortstop over to first base. You want that ball released around 90 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour when they're coming up in high school. You want the velocity off that bat over 100 miles an hour when they're hitting that ball. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, man. I'm gonna start another because I got grandchildren. I have a grandson. I have 2 grandsons really, but I have some grandsons and some. So I'm gonna start another team. So if some people locally next year, you know, you might want to look me up, but get with somebody that's gonna teach baseball. That's gonna teach the fun. Man, my first team, my son and a catcher, I got blessed with. I taught him how to catch. He didn't do nothing but play baseball, football. I didn't have but 2 players on my team, man. I had people like legislators' sons, you know, real up-to-do people. And you know how they cheering are. They not really athletic. My goal was to play 500. We played for the championship because I taught them fundamental baseball with teams that were stacked. That's a true story. But go ahead, though, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things where I feel like we need to get the participation back. You know,
Big time.
Big time. Major League Baseball is asking to, you know, they trying to get the black player back to playing baseball. You know, if you look back in the 80s and the 90s, you saw, you know, the league. I wouldn't say it was dominated by black players, but you saw, an ample amount of black players in the league back then, and we need to get our kids back into that mode. Because
all baseball contracts are guaranteed.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you like this: if you got a kid, if you got a son, and he plays baseball, you better make him an investment. Make what he does as an investment, because if he get to the big leagues, of course you're going to be in the minor leagues. You develop in the minor league, but you get that call up to the big league and you get that contract. It's guaranteed, full guarantee. There is no salary cap in baseball. is a full guarantee. You would get a big return on your investment. So I would say get your kids into baseball.
Let me
Um,
answer Leonard Chat statement he made. He said when the pitcher throws the ball in the middle, it's not necessarily in the middle. It's on the black. The plate is white and it's got a black rubber on the side of it. Anything over that plate is a strike.
mhm.
Supposed to be a strike. From the top of the knees to the bottom of the letters.
Hey, your son don't want to play baseball. I'm just saying. Look, you baseball guaranteed.
Some people scare their son, Doc. Some people, man, I don't want to get hit by the ball, but nobody better not hit me with that ball. And they go out, and that's what them children think about. Man,
But
I had some kids like that. Man, I don't want to play baseball. My mama want me to come out, and I made it fun for them. And they played all the way through high school. And I'm talking about we started what that was 8 years old. Not no. 10-year-old team. The 10-year-old team.
mhm,
They played from 10-year-old until they finished high school. But when they first came out there with me, I don't want to play baseball. I like basketball. You know, there's a lot of basketball players transition over to baseball and vice versa. And I made it fun for him that summer, and he kept on playing. He played until he played through high school.
mhm.
So don't y'all scare y'all. Don't scare. Just because you scared of the ball, don't mean your son gonna be scared of the ball. Go ahead.
Curveball have your knees buckled because you don't know where it's coming from. But it's one of them things where you just watch the game, you keep watching the game, you'll get them full more understanding of what they're talking about, and you'll just enjoy it. Like most people don't watch baseball on TV because they don't like the pace of it. They say it's boring. They don't understand it. But if you
They don't
actually
understand it.
they don't understand it. But if you actually go to an actual baseball game, like
Yeah.
Jeremiah, I'm trying to get we go to a Rangers game. 'Cause we in DFW, or just go to an actual baseball game and actually watch the game and just sit and look at the sights and the sounds and everything, what's going on. You will love it.
Man, I'm telling you.
Baseball is like chess. It ain't checkers. It's like chess because we talk
Exactly.
about straight up strategies and everything, hand signs, hand signals, everything. This is basically baseball is chess. But
A
we're gonna get into
professional
some
base
more. Yeah.
a professional baseball game is a whole lot different than high school, college. Professional baseball game, they have giveaways between innings. You got 9 innings. They have a whole bunch of stuff that you can that you do just to keep the crowd involved at a professional baseball game now at the professional venue. And you all really should check it out. You know, we had the Braves over here for like 12 years, and a lot of people just didn't take advantage of it. But if you're close to a ballpark, that's a good weekend excursion for a family, and baseball games are not really that expensive, as
It
opposed to
really is
basketball
not.
and football.
It's really not. It's really not. And right now, as far as Major League Baseball, spring training is going starting up now. Of course, like I said, we just started up HBC, baseball in college. So and softball. So y'all make sure you head to your local institution and go check that out and make sure you support these kids because they need much of support because we talking about baseball. Baseball is one of those sports that is non-revenue sharing. They
Hmm.
don't make money off the baseball like that. So if you wanna make sure the baseball team is up to par and support it, go support the baseball team.
Yeah, Edwin Moore. Yeah, what you just said. Learn how to score the game. You learn how to score baseball. That's the best. That's the quickest way to learn how to learn the game. If you learn how to
Mhm.
score it. Edwin, they ain't gonna understand that. They gonna have to get a scoring book. They just think you just writing down little specs. In baseball, when you score in baseball, it's a record. You keeping a record of everything that happening in the game, and it's
Mhm.
fun. Y'all need to learn how to do it. Really,
Yeah.
that's one of the first things I taught my daughters and stuff when they was like 5, 6 years old. Yeah,
So next time we'll get back into baseball 1-on-1. I'm gonna have my boy Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you in here, man? We gonna be on this thing, talk about baseball 1-on-1. So a lot of people get a full understanding. I think it's a good thing we talk about this because we don't really talk about baseball like that. We don't really talk about it.
Thank you for letting me on, Doc. I'm finna fix me a hamburger.
All right, man. All right. You have
All
a
right.
good one.
All right.
All right. That was Uncle Willie as always. I got as always, that's Uncle Willie right there. Good thing to talk. Boy, you gonna have a job, man. We gonna do it in the evening time, bro. We gonna talk about some more baseball. My guy Jeremiah, he's my baseball aficionado on the channel. Uh, so we gonna have some more things to talk about when it comes to the terminology, what to expect, and everything. But like I said, go and check out. If you live in a major city, or if you're close to a major city, or you just see some Little League baseball, go check it out. Go check it out. Go check it out. I think I liked it. Thank you. Whit. It was a good segue. It was a good segue between football and basketball. Um, it was a good segue. So what we got coming up tomorrow? I'll probably go back on. I'll probably come back live tomorrow. Around the same time. Around the same time. I actually do like this. We did get a lot of engagement on this today. So I'll be back on here tomorrow. I do get off at midnight tonight, so y'all have to bear with me because I value my sleep at night. But other than that, I appreciate everybody for joining me. Also, make sure you hit up the donation. Um, Hit up the donation. Make sure you hit up the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, so we can get this thing going and flowing. And if it's some baseball games that y'all want me to stream, let me know. It ain't free because I know some of this stuff ain't free. So, but let me know where we can get this, how we can get this going. And hey, I'm all for it. But we got one last commercial. And after that, we be out of here.
It's your boy Doc Holliday. Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also, you can get birthday shoutouts on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal, David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle, David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket.
All right, y'all. All right. We'll be back on this thing tomorrow. It's almost the end of February. So got some things to talk about. We have We have some Black History things to go over. We also have um, a little bit more basketball to go over. Also, see how everything goes into play right before conference tournaments start. We're gonna have some more baseball to talk about. Um, we're gonna have some more baseball to talk about, and last but not least, about to get into um, about to step into NFL draft, uh, where we feel like our guys need to, where they need to go, and what's in store for them. But other than that, y'all be easy. Y'all be easy. Y'all be greasy. Y'all be blessed. Stay safe. Hug your loved ones. We out this thing until tomorrow. Should I do 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock? Put it in the comment. All right. Y'all just stay. Peace.